Do you find yourself in the same loop? You're dating the same person, you're doing the same job, and I'm not talking about going to the same job, I'm talking about changing jobs and winding up in the same situation. Are you constantly facing the same situation? It's called the loop. We'll talk about the loop today on Morning Love. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Love, your daily dose of love, hope, and encouragement from here at Buckwheat Farms, Magic Emporium and Ballroom. We're glad you're here. I hope you've been enjoying our content. We are closing in on averaging 1,000 views per month, and I want to thank you for that. And up to 46 subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. I hope it's worthwhile. I want to talk about the loop today, the loop that we get into. But first, a little bit of creativity from yours truly. A poem that I wrote just in about 5 minutes after I got done with yesterday's content. I was meditating on it, and this is what came out. It's called My Life. I have been cruel and I have been kind, impatient and blissfully sublime. I have known joy immense and despair dark and vast, ingested lust and love, embraced anger, hatred, pride. As I look upon this life I've led, there is much sorrow, disappointment, pain. Yet, in every bitter memory of times I've failed at humanity, there sparkle glimmers of things I've done, so full of love's divine call that I dare not question my origin or my destination. I'll post a link to that in the comments for the Facebook page where I posted that little poem. But that's I was kind of looking back on my life, riding with my wife yesterday, I think it was, or the day before obviously. And we were talking about that and just thinking on some of the things that I've done. And I've, like all of us, I've done some really, really, really shitty things in my life. Excuse my language, but there's no other way to describe it. I have been at times acting like a rotten person. That wasn't who I was. Those were things I was doing. And on the other hand, I have done things. I've done some things in my life that would bring a tear to Mother Teresa's eye. And I think we all have. We've all, because it's within us all. And that's the loop. We constantly find ourselves, because what we're doing is we're trying somehow, when we see it, is trying to weigh out one against the other, as if it's some kind of divine balancing act. And that's not it at all. We're not here to kind of balance out the good versus the bad, because there is no good and there is no bad. They both just are. They were decisions and things that I did at the time for whatever reasons, but they just were. And they no longer exist. They no longer have any value except in my mind, except in my thoughts. And so that's why we find ourselves constantly in this loops, because we're coming up against a situation that we've seen before. And have you ever come up at a crossroads and you're like, I've seen this movie before, and if I go that way, there's some intuition, there's some thought. Well, it's because you've been that way before. We're constantly coming into, not only in our lives, but in our lifetimes, the same situation, the same circumstance, in order to make different choices. And these experiences that we have, the good things we have and the bad things we experience, are all to help us navigate through these choices. Because what we're truly seeking is how to survive, how best to survive by doing the least harm to others. Because that is the essence of the golden rule. The Rabbi Jesus was asked, "What is the greatest commandment?" He said, It's this. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul. The second is to love your neighbor as yourself. Now, we think of this as loving God outside of us and then our neighbor outside of us. And we skip this part. Well, I want to tell you today that what he was talking about is love the Lord your God, whatever it is that drives you. You are it. It is in you. The answer is within you. The it is within you. The I am is within you. Whatever is within you. To love yourself. And then love your neighbor in that same way. And that is the essence of my closing remark every day. That is the very essence of Namaste.